Hey everyone, welcome back to Logic Verify. Today we are diving into one of the most important topic in VLSI, which is ASIC design flow. If you are someone who want to understand how real world chip are designed from idea to silicon and then to final product, then this video is for you. So let's get started. What exactly is an ASIC? ASIC stands for Application Specific Integrated Circuit, and the name itself say everything. It's a chip that built for one specific purpose, not a general purpose chip like microprocessor. For example, the chip inside a Bluetooth speaker, exclusive for audio processing, the chip that handle image processing in a VR device, the chip inside your set-top box, automotive controllers, network routers, mobile SoCs, all of these internally use ASICs. These chips can be digital, analog, or mixed signal depending on the application. Now that we know what an ASIC is, let's see how an ASIC is actually built. The ASIC design flow is like making a movie. There's pre-production, production, and post-production. Similarly, ASIC flow is divided into three big stages. First one is requirement and specifications. Second is design and verification. And third one is validation, which is post silicon. Inside these stages, a lot of things happen. Let's go step by step and understand each one. In stage 1, the first one we have is requirements. Everything start with a customer requirement. A customer, usually another company, wants a chip for their product. So the first job is to understand what exactly do they want the chip to do, what is the use cases, what market are they targeting, how much power, performance, cost is acceptable. This stage is basically collecting information and planning the project. Second is specification. Once the requirements are clear, the next step is to write specifications. Specifications are like the blueprint or a feature list of the chip. For example, a specification might say the chip must support virtual reality with high-speed imaging algorithms. It should run two ARM A53 processors at 600 MHz. It must support USB 3.0, Bluetooth, PCIe Gen 2. It should drive 1080 pixel display. This is a high level description, no coding, no schematics, just functionality. The third one is architecture. Now the architects take over. They decide how the chip will operate internally, what block will it contain, how data will move through the chip, power and performance budgeting, what clock, buses, memories and interfaces will be needed. Imagine a processor fetching image frame from a RAM. At the same time, a graphic engine is processing the previous frame. All of that flow is planned in these stages. Architecture is basically the brainstorming plus the planning stages. Now stage 2, which is digital design and verification. This is where engineers like you and me get involved. Fourth is digital design, which is RTL, register transfer level. Here the architecture is converted into actual hardware logic, not transistor level, not gate level, but RTL level using Verilog or VHDL. Modern chips are too big to design from scratches, so companies reuse IP blocks or buy modules like CAN, PCIe, USB cores, or integrate third-party IPs. The designer write behavioral RTL that describe how the hardware works. Now fifth is verification. This is where the verification engineers jump in. RTL might look correct, but is it actually correct? Will a DSP core really fetch instruction properly? Will a PCI controller really respond to every transaction? To ensure this, verification engineers build test benches environment, stimulus, driver monitor scoreboards, functional coverage assertions. Designer keep releasing RTL version, verification keep testing, and if anything misbehaves, then a bug is raised. This loop continue until the design is stable and perfect. Now the sixth one is logic synthesis. Once the RTL is verified, it's time to convert into real hardware. Synthesis tool convert RTL into gate level netlist using standard cells like AND or XOR, flip-flops, latches, buffers. The tool ensure timing meet constraint, power is optimized, area is minimized. This is the first time your RTL become an actual digital circuit. Now the seventh one is logical equivalence check, which is LEC. After synthesis, we must ensure the netlist still behave exactly like the RTL. So formal tool compare RTL gate level netlist. If both matches, then it is safe, and if both not matches, then something broke during the synthesis. Now the eighth one is physical design, which is basically placement and routing. Now the physical design team takes over. This is one of the most complex stages. Using tools like Synopsys IC compiler, Cadence encounter, they perform standard cell placement, clock tree synthesis, power planning, routing across metal layers, timing closure. Finally, they generate the chip layout which goes to the fab for manufacturing. Then comes the stage 3, which is post silicon validation. Once the sample chip come back from fabrication, it's tested again, but this time on real hardware. Validation engineers run test pattern on the silicon. The challenge is here is you can't see internal signals. Millions of cycles run every second. Debugging is much harder than simulation. If bugs are found here, then the RTL must be fixed, and then verification repeated, then synthesis, and then placement and routing, and then fabrication again. So the whole process will start repeating in a logical way. So that's the complete journey of an ASIC from idea to RTL and then gate and then physical layout to the silicon testing, and then it become to final chip inside your phone, car or laptop. It's a long process, but it's the backbone of the semiconductor industry. If you found this explanation helpful, hit like, subscribe and share it with someone learning VLSI. And tell me in the comments which stage do you want a detailed video on next. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video on Logic Verify.